Details on the bomb threats against Hilton schools that forced the district to evacuate yesterday. Good evening, I'm Don Alhart. Now, Hilton schools did reopen today with added security. This as authorities work to track down exactly where that threatening email originated. The anonymous email said pipe bombs were placed in all schools and accused the district of grooming students for allowing the library to have an LGBTQ book called "This Book is Gay." The superintendent says he considers the threat a hate crime. Jackie Napier now explaining the challenges law enforcement is facing in this investigation. Jackie.
Good evening, Don. Sources confirmed the bomb threat emailed to some local media outlets was sent from a mail.ru email address, which is a Russian email domain. However, a cybersecurity expert tells me that does not mean the email necessarily came from Russia. Hilton Superintendent Dr. Casey Kosorik says he hopes whoever sent the anonymous bomb threat is held accountable. Cybersecurity expert Jonathan Weissman says that individual may be hard to find.
Unfortunately, if the suspects did their due diligence in terms of covering their tracks, they're not going to be caught.
Weissman says the odds of finding the email sender are close to zero because the internet makes it easy to hide.
Use an anonymous email provider that doesn't log your IP address. Use a public Wi-Fi. And don't provide any identifiable information when you sign up for the email account. The only way it would be possible to catch them is if they slipped up and when signing up for the email address, they provided contact information like their phone number that can be now used to tie the email address to their identity.
Attorney Daniel Strollo says if caught, the sender could face charges of making a terroristic threat. If found guilty, the person could face up to 7 years behind bars.
The problem with these, though, is they consume so many governmental resources between law enforcement, shutting down buildings, shutting down schools, sending the kids home. It creates a problem for the school.
Strollo says threats like this can have a huge impact on the entire community.
That email is full of hate. It's disgusting. It's deplorable. It may just seem like, oh, this is just an email, but the effects are extraordinarily expensive and they're extraordinarily devastating to people's lives.
The Hilton Central School District reopened today and will have deputies stationed outside all 5 schools for the remainder of the week. Meantime, the investigation into yesterday's threats continues. Don?
And that investigation continues as well. Authorities in Hilton working to figure out where yesterday's bomb threat email came from. Sources confirming the email to some local media outlets was sent from a mail.ru email address, which is a Russian email domain. However, a cybersecurity expert says that does not mean it necessarily came from Russia and that the individual might be difficult to find.
The only way it would be possible to catch them is if they slipped up and when signing up for the email address, they provided contact information like their phone number that can be now used to tie the email address to their identity.
The investigation into that threat continues tonight.